Sejam bem-vindos a mais um dia de Bienal. Estamos começando agora o nosso domingo aqui na Bienal. E hoje a gente tem um bate-papo muito interessante com uma autora gringa, uma autora que veio de fora. Ela é escritora de A 5 Passos de Você, um livro que foi lançado pela Globo Out, que conta a história de dois adolescentes com fibrose cística se apaixonando no hospital. O livro ficou muito conhecido por conta do filme, que saiu também esse ano. E é por isso que eu apresento agora para vocês, aqui no Brasil, a Rachael Lippincott.
Hi, everyone.
Então, Rachael, esse não é o seu primeiro evento aqui no Brasil, na Bienal. Você já esteve aqui antes de ontem. Você já está aqui no Brasil há um tempo, tendo contato com fãs brasileiros e conhecendo um pouco da nossa cultura. E eu queria que você contasse pra gente, começasse a nossa manhã agora, falando um pouco de tudo que você experimentou no Brasil até agora, como foi o seu contato com os leitores e o que você está achando do nosso país e da Bienal aqui do Rio.
Great. Oh my goodness. Well, I've had such an amazing time so far. It's just been absolutely amazing. Meeting all of you guys and the Brazilian readers has just been so great. You guys are so caring and loving and kind, and I've just had such an amazing time so far. This is an amazing book festival. Just walking around has been so cool to see all the books and all the people. And I also love the city. It's just been amazing going around Rio and exploring a little bit. It's just been a real treat, definitely.
Muito bom. Vamos começar a falar agora um pouco, então, sobre A 5 Passos de Você, né, o 5 Feet Apart. O livro foi um sucesso no mundo inteiro e é um livro que traz uma mensagem extremamente forte, é uma mensagem muito, muito impactante. E eu queria que você contasse pra gente, então, como foi o seu preparo para escrever essa história, por que você decidiu escrever sobre fibrose cística e qual é a importância da pesquisa nesse tipo de escrita, porque para que você não romantizasse a doença, para que você colocasse ali tudo de maneira correta, da maneira como realmente os pacientes de fibrose cística vivem diariamente, como foi esse processo de pesquisa e o seu envolvimento com essa condição para que você pudesse escrever esse livro?
Absolutely. Research was the biggest part of this entire project, and it was always so important to me and everybody involved in making the book and making the movie to just portray cystic fibrosis as accurately as we possibly could. The original idea for this story first came from Claire Wineland, who was a YouTuber and also an advocate, and she had CF. And her friendship with Justin Baldoni, the director of the film, was really close, and they had this idea to raise awareness about cystic fibrosis through a book and through a film, because then it could reach the most number of people. It could finally be put in the spotlight, this disease that a lot of people do not know about. So that was always kind of at the heart of this. And Claire was a great resource for all of this. She would look over the screenplay and also the book, and it was so important to get her perspective and have her go through and say, this is not accurate, this doesn't represent the true experience, and that was always so important. I also had a respiratory therapist who I would work with to make sure that everything was accurate and true to the experience, which was always super important. But yeah, research was definitely the most important thing that I had to do. I had to talk to people, I had to watch YouTube videos going over things like wearing an Aflo vest, which is a respiratory vest. The percussions help break up the mucus and clear the airways, small things like that, just to try to get into the experience and the reality of these people, which was always so important to do, to portray it as accurately as I could.
E eu tenho certeza que, por conta desse livro, você se aproximou muito de pacientes de fibrose cística e muitas pessoas leram o livro, assistiram ao filme e eu tenho certeza que você recebeu feedback de muita gente. Aqui na Bienal mesmo você já encontrou alguns leitores, algumas pessoas que gostam da sua história e são portadores de fibrose cística. E eu queria que você contasse pra gente um pouco sobre como é essa experiência de representar uma parte tão difícil assim da vida de uma pessoa. É uma responsabilidade muito grande. Como você lida com essa responsabilidade e se você pudesse contar pra gente alguma situação emocionante algum feedback emocionante que você recebeu de algum leitor, alguma experiência positiva que você conseguiu impactar a vida de algum leitor de alguma forma.
Yeah, definitely. That was honestly the most amazing part about all of this, was getting to meet people that had cystic fibrosis and meet their families and get to talk to them and hear about their experiences and what they saw in the book that they connected with, if they connected with Stella or if they connected with Will. And to hear that and learn about that was amazing. It was so great to hear. I became best friends with this mom that's from Des Moines, Iowa. And we would message every week on Instagram, and she would talk to me about the book and also about her daughter, and talk about raising awareness and there's the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation in the States is really huge. So talking about, raising money for that and trying to, educate more people, which is always really important. I had so many moments and so many people that I talked to that reached out to me, and that was so incredible. So definitely the mom, I think, was my favorite. We still talk every single week, which was so amazing. But yeah, also in Brazil, it's been amazing. I had this girl, Jada, who I met on Instagram again, of all places. She was able to come to a panel that I did 2 days ago, and she was just talking about how this book has really kind of helped educate more people on CF, especially here. She was telling me that she had situations where she would show up at the hospital looking for care, looking to get help, and doctors would not even really know very much about CF, about the disease. And I was so heartbroken by that, but it was so great to hear that, this book helped in some small way to educate some people, which was really great to hear, definitely.
Ficou muito feliz. E eu não vou dar um spoiler do final do livro, por causa de algum leitor que está aqui não ter lido ainda, mas próximo ao final do livro a gente tem uma cena curtinha, rapidinha, que se passa aqui no Brasil, e essa cena infelizmente foi cortada do filme. Mas de onde veio essa decisão de colocar o Brasil ali na história? Foi sua? Por que o Brasil? Por que você colocou o Brasil ali?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question. I think it's maybe because I did study one term of Portuguese when I was in university, and I had the coolest teacher ever who was from Rio. And I think it was just probably that. I was just writing and I was thinking about it, and I was like, where would be an amazing place for him to visit? And Rio came to mind. So
acabou sendo uma homenagem ao seu professor, né?
What was that? Sorry.
Acabou sendo uma homenagem para ele, né? Colocaram um pedacinho do Brasil
no livro.
Bit.
Oh my goodness, definitely.
E dentro falando um pouco sobre literatura jovem no geral, a gente tem muitos livros hoje onde a gente percebe como a literatura jovem tem saído à frente na hora de falar sobre assuntos sérios. Seja para falar sobre doenças que são pouco conhecidas de modo geral, pelo público geral, seja para falar sobre questões de gênero, sexualidade, etnias, racismo. A literatura jovem tem sido, dos últimos anos para cá, uma literatura que bate muito de frente com esses assuntos, que não tem medo de falar sobre esses tópicos, que muitas vezes a literatura adulta acaba maquiando, acaba se escondendo. E como você enxerga isso? Por que você acredita que, mesmo quando você está falando para um público jovem, escrevendo para um público jovem, esses assuntos vêm à tona de dentro da comunidade de leitores e escritores de literatura jovem?
Yeah, that's so great. I think that's such a great point to make. I think in young adult literature, we are able to talk about these very serious issues. The Hate You Give is a book that I also think of, which talked about a very serious issue in the U.S. But yeah, I think there's just something amazing about connecting with a younger audience. They are the future, so there's something about that. But another huge element of it is I think young adult books have this incredible ability to connect to people of any age, which is something I always talk about. It connects with teenagers and young adults, but I also have 80-year-old father figures from back home who will tell me that they read 5 Feet Apart and felt moved by it. So I think there's just something so wonderful about a young adult book that has the ability to captivate and talk to and speak to these issues, whether you're 13 years old or you're 40 years old or you're 80 years old back home in Philadelphia. So yeah, I think it's just incredible because this is just one segment of literature that has the ability to talk to everybody.
E agora, vamos falar um pouquinho sobre escrita. Eu estava conversando com você um pouco mais cedo sobre como eu adoro ouvir sobre o processo de escrita de outros autores, e é um assunto que me encanta muito. E eu queria que você começasse comentando um pouco pra gente a respeito do seu processo de escrita. Como você costuma escrever? Você é o tipo de autora que escreve melhor de noite ou de dia? Você tem algum ritual maluco, secreto, que você queira contar pra gente? Como funciona o processo, assim? Eu, Rachael, vou sentar agora e vou escrever. Por onde você começa? Conta um pouco pra gente sobre o seu processo.
Oh, definitely. I think in recent years, I've definitely learned that I work best if I plan. I'm a huge planner. I'm super type A, but I will make schedules and I will plan out when I'm going to write and how I'm going to write. And that's not always how a story starts. I always, first of all, have this idea and I sit down and I try to experience the characters. I write some chapters, I write some scenes to get an idea of who these people are. And then from there, I build the world. I try to figure out where they are, who they are, how they interact with people. And then after that is when I make a detailed outline. So I plan every single chapter, every single scene, what the scene will mean, what will be brought out in the scenes, the general arc of the story. And then I will get my calendar out and write every single day that I will write every single chapter and what my word count will be on what day. And then I think that's really helped me just actually complete the story, actually get my writing done, which is definitely, I think, a lot of times the hardest part when you're a writer. You sit there and you think about a story and you think about how nice it would be to get a book done, but it's intimidating. It's scary to put your heart out on a page. So I think that's definitely helped me get done the first draft and, have something whole that I can work on and build on, definitely.
E A Cinco Passos de Você foi um livro que foi escrito por você e co-escrito junto com mais 2 outros autores. E como é esse processo de escrever em 3 pessoas, esse trabalho de grupo que foi esse livro? Qual é a parte mais difícil de trabalhar com outras pessoas e qual é a parte que mais facilita, assim? Qual é o melhor e o pior de escrever um livro em 3 pessoas?
That's a great question. Yeah, so I think probably the best part was I think we all worked really well together. I think they're screenplay writers, and I write books. So it was kind of interesting to see, I think their screenplay writing and my book writing worked on the same level. We were always on the same wavelength with what we wanted to say, how we wanted to bring out scenes. A lot of times I would write a scene from the screenplay and they would say, this is perfect, it's right on the mark, this is totally like what I meant to say, what kind of the hidden background in the story that you would see when it was, in the film. So it was really great working with them because I think we understood each other. We understood each other's writing no matter what the medium was, which was definitely really special. Probably the hardest part is everybody has their own ideas on things, People have ideas on how they want the story to go, what they want scenes to look like, what they want people to look like, what they want them to do in certain moments. And a lot of times you might not fully agree with that, and there are slight disagreements, about how you want things to look. And that did not happen often with this project, which was very good, very fortunate. But yeah, there was always small things, Just I remember there was one scene actually, like later on, and they had started the production of the film, and I wrote a scene with Poe in it in which he was wearing like red Converse or something so minute. He was wearing red Converse in the scene, and I got this note back that was just like, in the movie, he is wearing like white Vans or something. Like it was just like the shoes were different. And yeah, something as small as that, can get broken apart in moments when people are getting extra nitpicky near the end. So it was interesting. But.
E agora uma pergunta clássica, mas que eu também adoro ouvir conselhos de outras pessoas. Se você pudesse dar um conselho aqui para os jovens escritores que estão assistindo aqui a gente hoje, para pessoas que têm vontade de se tornar escritores e que já escrevem e que precisam daquela motivaçãozinha, assim, o que você daria de conselho?
Oh my goodness, writing is so amazing, and I think if you're a writer, you kind of always know it in your heart. I remember when I was in 3rd grade, I would always walk around with a notebook and I would always write down different stories that always pop into my head. And I think honestly the most important advice I can give is just definitely stick with it. I think in this field you do get a lot of rejection. There's moments where, you feel kind of hopeless. You feel like you're not going to get your story done, or you complete a story and maybe somebody doesn't like it, and that's so heartbreaking. But if you just keep writing and you keep pouring your heart out onto the page and just really giving it your all, that's really what matters most, I think. Just writing the story and writing the stories that you want to write, and living these histories and these lives. I think that's what's always most important. Just continue doing it. Absolutely.
E como a gente está falando de escrita, eu vou ter que perguntar isso. O que você pode falar para a gente um pouquinho hoje sobre All This Time, que é o seu próximo livro, Que sai no ano que vem. A gente promete aqui que vai guardar segredo. Pode contar algum segredinho aí pra gente, por favor.
Okay, cool. Oh my goodness. Well, this is a very interesting story. I'm working again with Mickey Daughtry, who was one of the screenplay writers of 5 Feet Apart. And this is really her heart project. This is a story that she's wanted to write for 20 years now, which is so big. So this is she's a screenplay writer, and we're kind of working together. She's writing a screenplay at the same time as I'm writing a book. And it's this beautiful story about this boy named Kyle who he plays football, and he has a scholarship to go to UCLA, and he gets injured, and it's the night of his graduation, and he is in a car accident with his girlfriend, and she passes away, and he wakes up, and she's no longer here. So it's kind of the story about him growing and changing, and the grief process, and also just learning to love and learning to experience life again, which I think is really important. So I'm really excited to help bring the story to life.
Você não tem nenhuma pena dos seus leitores, você adora fazer os seus leitores chorarem, e foi muito engraçado, porque a gente estava caminhando junto do hotel e tal, e a gente conversando, e a Rachael é muito engraçada, ela faz piadas o tempo todo, e aí quem vê ela sendo engraçadinha assim, não imagina que ela escreve o tipo de livro que você termina arrancando a página para secar as lágrimas, porque é muita crueldade o que você faz com a gente. Mas eu queria saber se, dentro dos seus projetos futuros, você pensa em escrever alguma coisa. Eu sei, em A 5 Passos de Você, a Stella, ela tem um senso de humor. A relação toda da Stella com o Will tem muito um senso de humor, assim, onde os dois meio que se ofendem, mas eles se amam, e tem diálogos muito divertidos, mas eles estão em um cenário mais intenso, num cenário mais de partir o coração mesmo. Mas você pretende em algum momento usar todo o seu senso de humor, que eu posso comprovar aqui que é realmente um excelente senso de humor, para escrever uma história, alguma comédia romântica, alguma coisa que vai fazer a gente chorar de rir e não chorar de desespero?
Will you ever make me stop crying? Yes, definitely. I think the balance between humor and tragedy, I think in 5 Feet Apart and also in All This Time, is definitely huge. But I totally think at some point I'm just going to write a straight rom-com. I think laughing is the best medicine. I think it's just absolutely wonderful, and I think those are also some of the best stories. So I definitely think I will branch out at some point, for sure.
Bem, e agora a gente vai abrir para perguntas de vocês. Então, se alguém quiser fazer qualquer pergunta, eu acho que tem um microfone que vai girar. Peraí. Mentira, não tem ninguém falando nada no meu ouvido. Eu acho que a moça está vindo lá atrás com o microfone. Então, se vocês têm perguntas, pode ficar tranquilo, pode fazer em português também, que aí será traduzido para ela. E façam perguntas, gente, porque ela não está aqui no Brasil sempre, então aproveitem essa oportunidade. Eu sei porque eu já fui em muitos eventos e eu fiquei super, super tímido. Então, quem quiser pode levantar aqui até o meio do corredor e pegar o microfone ali.
Hey, Rachael.
Hi,
nice
how
to
are
see
you?
Again.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, I would like to know a little bit about how it's working with Justin Baldoni, because he's going to adapt a book that I really like from Colleen Hoover. So.
Colleen Hoover? Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yes.
Yeah, Justin Baldoni is great. I think he has such a big heart, and all the stories that he takes and he adapts, and he has such a vision for what he wants. Justin's a really great guy. I remember when the book got published, he definitely was so excited, and then when it hit the bestseller list, he also messaged me and reached out. But yeah, he is a really wonderful person, and I think Colleen Hoover's film is going to be absolutely amazing, yes. And I'm so excited to see it. I think he's totally going to do an excellent job as a director, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, thank you.
Hi, I'm nervous.
Hi.
Eu queria saber se você pensa em ter uma continuação pro livro, assim, se você pensou em uma possibilidade ou não, porque no final eu fiquei muito ansiosa e eu chorei muito quando você terminou o livro. Sinceramente, fiquei muito brava quando você terminou o livro, porque eu queria uma continuação. E você pensa, assim, em ter um outro livro para continuar essa história do Will e da Stella?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's definitely a question that I get a lot. I think I think for me and the screenplay writers and everybody that was working on it, it felt whole to us. I think the ending is hurtful. They see each other again, and you don't know if they're going to be together and what paths their stories will take. But to me, it felt whole. It felt complete. I don't think Will would ever want to hurt Stella and want to put her in danger of getting dysphagia and causing the decline of her lungs. And I think it's horrible that they can't be together. It's so hurtful. But I think it's something beautiful that they will always love each other. They will always have this beautiful thing that they shared, even though they can't necessarily be together. So yeah, I don't think we have plans for it now. I'm sorry.
Eu posso fazer pergunta? A Abby, a irmã da Stella, ela tem alguma importância, assim, você colocou ela no livro, você teve um significado para colocar ela no livro, com a relação dela com o Will e a Stella, porque ela queria se sentir, não se sentir especial, mas queria que os pais dela ficassem não feliz, não sei, desculpa, não sei o que eu quero exatamente perguntar, quero saber se ela tem alguma coisa especial
Let's go, work it out.
Para a história do livro, a Abby.
Yes, I think she's so important for the story of the book because you have somebody like Stella who has cystic fibrosis and has lived her entire life celebrating every birthday with a sense of relief. This is another year. This is so special and so important. And there's this horrible reality that she's expected to die before her sibling. She's expected to possibly die before even her parents, which is so horrible. And Abby acts as this bright light. Her sister is always doing these amazing things. She's going on these adventures. She's living her life to the fullest. And she passes away. And to Stella, this is so interesting. Will even says this in a scene. She's a dying person with survivor's guilt, and that is just so incredibly heartbreaking. So she kind of acts as, I don't know, with Stella's relationship with her family, with her parents and her experience. It's just this great tragedy where she's trying to remember Abby and remember her legacy, but also struggling because she has a chronic illness. So yeah, I think Abby definitely works, I guess, in that because you see her relationship with her sister and her family and how it changes, and also how Stella then learns to honor her memory, which I think is most important. Absolutely.
Ok, muito obrigada.
Thank you so much.
Eu te adoro. É isso.
Oh my gosh, I love you too.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
So my question is, which was the most hardest part for you to write, like emotionally?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. It's a spoiler.
Todo mundo aqui já leu, não? Já tem alguém que não leu o livro?
If you haven't read the book, cover your ears.
Ou viu o filme? Todo mundo viu o filme, pelo menos?
It was
Então, ok,
absolutely...
pode falar spoilers.
Hey, we're good. It was absolutely Poe's death. Poe was my favorite character in the book. Absolutely my favorite character. My best friend is Colombian, and so much of Poe's character was my best friend. And yeah, just writing that scene, I remember just typing it out and just playing it in my head and just living it. And just, oh my gosh, I remember crying after I was done. It was definitely that scene by far, just because their friendship was so beautiful and they were so close and they grew up together and they fought cystic fibrosis together, and then he was gone. So that was definitely it. Definitely Poe's scene.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I love you.
Hi.
Hi.
A minha pergunta é a seguinte. Eu ouvi falar que existe uma verdadeira Estela. E eu queria saber se ela participou do processo e tal, e ela soube que você ia escrever um livro sobre ela e tal. Que ela teve um canal no YouTube falando sobre isso.
Yeah, so that was Claire Wineland, and she was not identical to Stella. It was a lot of like a mirror image kind of thing. She was very similar to Stella in a lot of ways. She would always plan out her regimens and plan out her routines, and she always had the med cart in her room, and she would make her room a home, her hospital room. She would always put up decorations, and a lot of Stella is Claire. Claire was kind of the inspiration, the spark for this story. Claire was incredible. She passed away just before the book came out and before the movie came out, but she was so important in making all of this happen. She was so important in, the very start of 5 Feet Apart. And yeah, so it wasn't identical, but so much of who Stella was Claire as well. You should all watch her YouTube videos. They're amazing. She really talks about living proudly and living life to the fullest. And she was just one of the most incredible people. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oi,
Hi.
eu tenho mais técnica. Você falou que você planeja muito como que você vai escrever, e eu queria saber, eu também sou muito assim, eu planejo muito tudo, e eu queria saber como que você lida quando sai do planejado, o que você faz? E eu queria saber também, eu tenho um blog de resenhas, e eu fiz uma resenha do seu livro, e você viu o post, interagiu e tal, e meu namorado fez um desenho, você comentou e tudo mais. Eu queria saber como que é essa relação com os fãs. Se você fica com medo do que eles vão falar, como que é, como que você interage.
That's a great question. Okay, so plans. Yeah, I'm huge on planning. And yeah, no, sometimes it doesn't quite go as you intend it to do. There are some days where you sit down to write and it's just not happening. You sit down, you have good intentions, and you stare at the same sentence for 4 hours, and nothing comes out. And then there are other days where you type and type and type, and you fill hundreds of pages in the blink of an eye. I think you just have to understand that there are going to be days where it's just not going to happen, and then there are going to be days where it is, and you have to be forgiving of yourself when you make that plan and then it doesn't exactly follow through. I always give myself in my plan space to make a mistake. I always give myself days where I have off. I always give myself less work to do so that I can beat the work that I do have. So oftentimes I will let's say I can write 10 pages in a day. I will intentionally give myself 5 because then I can get ahead on the next day, and then I can also, respect the fact that maybe it might not be easy to write that day. So definitely just be forgiving. No plan is foolproof, as I've definitely found. And yeah, my interactions with my fans, it's so amazing. I love seeing art, and I love talking to them, and I love, responding to comments as much as I can. I do my very best. It's very hard, but yeah, it's just incredible. I'm so grateful for everybody that sends me a message, and I'm so grateful for anybody that draws a picture, which is so great, and reaches out to me to say that the story meant something to them, and that just read the book even is so special to me. So yeah, I do my best to respond, and if I don't, I'm so sorry. This is me responding now. I love you. But yeah. So definitely, thank you so much.
Obrigada.
Oi.
Hi.
Eu queria saber qual foi a sensação de você ver que o seu livro estava sendo produzido por um filme e o que você achou da escolha dos atores para interpretar o Will e a Stella.
Yeah, so it was, I came into this project knowing that it would be made into a film, which was definitely something incredible. I was talking about how I wrote the first draft of the book and I had everything done. I had all the characters written as I had envisioned them. I knew Cole was going to be Will, and I knew Haley was going to be Stella, but I didn't really know about the other characters. I didn't know about Barb, and I didn't know about Poe, so I wrote them kind of how I visioned them. And then I ended up getting the cast list, I think, after the second or third draft. I had to make some revisions. I know I pictured Poe as looking slightly different than Moises, and I had to change it to match that. But he totally embodied the character, and it was just kind of a wonderful moment where I thought in my head, I knew for certain who this person was, and then I saw how it could be somebody totally different, which was so crazy. But yeah, it was an incredible process. I remember seeing the movie for the first time, and it was so interesting because I knew this story, and I had lived with these characters, and I had just been so close to it for so many months, and I had just to see it again in a totally new format was so wonderful and such a cool experience, definitely. Thank you so much.
Obrigada.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Maria Clara, and I'm really nervous, so I'm speaking in Portuguese. Como foi pra você matar o Paul? E por que você matou ele? Porque, assim, eu sofri muito.
It was horrible. That was not my decision. As we all know, I worked with two other writers on this project. Yeah, killing Poe was not my decision, but I am at a point where I understand it. Unfortunately, I think Stella was I don't know, she was beginning to, there was this relationship with Will, and it was growing and growing, and it was this harsh moment where all of a sudden reality came crashing down on her in this horrible, horrible way. I think if it had not happened, then something bad might have happened. Something bad might have happened to Stella. So it was this just tragic moment where something happened very close to her that just completely broke her. And it was this moment where she was going to give up her chance at living. She was going to give up her chance at getting new lungs and all of these things. So it was so sad that it happened, and it destroyed me. As I said, it was the worst scene to write. It was the worst moment to see in the movie. I was just a bucket of tears. But yeah, it happened. I'm sorry.
E tem uma outra pergunta. Você usou esse desenho tanto o desenho da capa, tanto para a Estela do filme, quanto para a capa do livro. E de onde ele surgiu? Foi alguém próximo a você que desenhou e você usou ele ou algo assim?
That's a really good question. Yeah, so we had just this vision of Abby being an artist, and this vision of just this intricate, beautiful lung drawing. And I remember writing in the first draft, I described it differently than was on the cover. I think I had different colors and different shapes, and things looked slightly different than it ended up being. But the cover was actually done by this artist named Lisa Perrin, who did the Macy's Flower Day Parade in the States. And she's just an incredible artist, and she drew this cover, and she drew this new vision for it. And I completely changed my draft to match the cover, just because I think it's just a beautiful piece of art. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, how are you doing?
My name is Anna. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My question is about this movie. What's your favorite moment?
Got it. I'm two voices in my ear. I was lazy. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're cool. Favorite moment in the movie? Oh my goodness. That's so tough. I think I really loved Barb in the movie. I thought she had so many funny scenes. But
She's
definitely,
very funny.
She's so funny. She's hilarious. Definitely my favorite moment was when they were at the pool. That scene at the pool, I think, is just so beautiful. It's such an intimate moment, between the two of them, and they stand there and they have all their scars and all the struggles that they've gone through in their lives, and they're just completely open with one another, and that's definitely my favorite scene in the movie, and I think in the book too.
I agree. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
so good. Thank you so much. It was so great meeting you. Hi.
Hi. Eu tô muito nervosa, então vai ser
Don't be.
No final do livro, eles se separam, assim. E aí tem uma cena, assim, uma parte no finalzinho do livro que eles se reencontram, assim, que eu achei super fofo. E no filme não acontece isso. Tem essa cena, mas foi cortada. Como foi essa decisão de ter cortado a cena?
That's a great question. They did film a similar scene, and it's actually in the deleted scenes, and it's a similar scene. Stella's at a corner bistro. She's having lunch with her friends and Nurse Julie, and she looks up, and across the street is Will. And she gets up from the table and she walks out, and there's the same moment kind of at the end of the book where they're 5 feet apart from each other. And that scene was filmed, but it was not put into the movie. I think maybe the reason, this is just me guessing, I don't know for sure, I think maybe the reason is because it's more open-ended, I think. I think they maybe wanted something more solid. I think they wanted this moment, where there isn't this after-scene moment where you see them meeting again, because I think that oftentimes creates more questions than answers for a lot of people. So I think they just wanted this definite ending where, Stella has that scene recording the video, and then they probably, I guess in that story, never meet again or never see each other again. So I think maybe that was just an artistic decision on their part. I'm not entirely certain.
Entendi.
Thank you
Obrigada.
so much.
Eu amei esse livro, gente, perfeito.
Thank you so much.
Olá, boa tarde. Meu nome é Elisiane.
Hi, good afternoon.
Indo mais para o lado pessoal, sua pessoa, eu queria saber, porque todo autor, eu acho que é um leitor, né? E eu queria saber em quem que você se espelhou para chegar onde você está hoje, o que você lê, do que você gosta.
Oh my goodness, my inspirations. One of my greatest inspirations was actually one of my teachers at the University of Pittsburgh. I had this incredible young adult teacher named Siobhan Vivian, and she honestly helped me get to this point and get to where I am now. Her classes were just such an inspiration to me to learn about writing, to learn about the craft, and then also the business aspect of it. She really covered it all, so she was definitely one of my greatest inspirations. In terms of books, I love Nina LaCour. I don't know. Yeah, We Are Okay is one of my favorite books ever. I think it's just beautiful because it's such a quiet book. All she does really is drink tea, and she's alone in her dorm room, but she's able to discover so much about herself and to heal so much over this period of time. And I think her writing is just incredible. I think something incredibly beautiful in writing is when authors don't have to write a lot to say a lot. She's able to just say exactly what needs to be said and nothing more and nothing less, and I think that's such a talent. Oh my goodness, but I love so many authors. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I grew up with Harry Potter, definitely. But Nina LaCour is definitely my number one when it comes to writing.
E para quem não conhece e ficou confuso, o livro que ela citou, We Are Okay, ele já foi publicado aqui no Brasil, se chama Estamos Bem, é da Nina LaCour, e foi publicado pela plataforma 21. Então quem tiver a oportunidade, leiam, porque realmente é um livro muito bom, eu também sou muito fã. Então ele já foi publicado aqui no Brasil, gente, leiam, porque esse livro é realmente muito, muito lindo.
Definitely read it.
A pergunta não é minha, é de uma amiga minha. Eu cheguei tarde na palestra, então provavelmente você já respondeu. Mas o que levou você a escrever uma história sobre fibrose cística?
It was definitely to raise awareness. Cystic fibrosis is not a disease that really was ever in the limelight, especially in the States and here too. Nobody really knew about cystic fibrosis prior to this, and it was so important to us to raise awareness and to talk about cystic fibrosis because there are so many scientific discoveries that are being made every day. New genes, new ways, new treatments to help the individuals that have cystic fibrosis live longer and live healthier and happier and better lives. And so it was so important to us to raise awareness and to make people learn, help people learn about this disease, and also just promote, this amazing research that is being done. So it was so important to do that, but then also to have individuals that have cystic fibrosis share their stories and share their experience as well. That was always at the heart of this entire project, definitely. Thank you so much. Hi, how are you?
I'm so glad to meet you. So, what do you do when you don't have inspiration to write a book? Because I'm writing my first book, so it's amazing meeting you and see you here. So
that's so exciting.
I'm so nervous.
Good luck with writing your book.
Yeah, and I stopped it because I don't have no idea what I continue my history. So, what do you do, and who supports you to continue writing, giving you ideas to do that?
Oh my goodness, that's so tough. It's so hard a lot of times to figure out what you're writing, I think. I think a lot of times you have the story inside of you, but you don't exactly know where it will go or where it will take you or what it will look like. I think something that's so important with that is I always oftentimes will listen to music that really inspires me or that helps me picture certain images or different things, or I'll watch films that I know will always give me that spark of inspiration, or books even. Like if you have any favorite books that have just always taken you somewhere else, taken you to this creative place, I definitely just cling to those as well. I think that's so important. It's so hard to figure out your first book especially. It's so hard because it's so important. But you will absolutely get there. Just keep working, keep tugging away. The first draft, getting the first edition of it done is so tough, but it will be such an amazing feeling when you do it. Just keep trying. Thank you.
Thank you.
Boa tarde. Eu estou um pouco nervoso, mas Eu também quero escrever um livro, eu quero saber o processo geral, como foi para você escrever esse, assim, o geralzão mesmo, um resumo.
Just agony, straight no. Oh man, the general process, I think it looks different depending on the person. I'm sure we write books differently. I'm sure a lot of authors write books differently. It's kind of about finding what works for you, and then just sitting down and getting the work done. As I mentioned, I'm a huge planner, but I think the most important thing is just sitting down and writing and making the time to write, and just being honest to you and your craft and the story that you want to tell. That's always so important. Thank you so much.
Hello, Rachel.
Hi, how are
I'm
you?
one of the people that haven't read your book or seen the film.
Totally
Sorry.
cool.
But I'm really excited to read it because I've heard nothing but good things. So I'm really curious because on the cover it says that the book is inspired by the film, but the film came after the release of the book. So how was the process? And I heard it's your first novel, and how you came in contact with the screenplay writers and how everything, like this whole project, came to life. Yeah.
That is such an incredible question. Yeah, so the process was really long. How it all originally started was I was a student at the University of Pittsburgh, and as I mentioned, I had this teacher there named Siobhan Vivian, who is a published young adult author in the States, and she publishes with a company called Simon & Schuster, and yeah, y'all know. And she heard about this opportunity right after I graduated, like a month after I had graduated, and they were talking about 5 Feet Apart, talking about the story and raising awareness about CF, and I learned about it from her, and I was able after that to work through and read through, and I wrote a first chapter, a sample first chapter, and I sent it into Simon & Schuster, and they read it, and I threw my name into a hat with a bunch of different writers, and they somehow thought that mine was good enough, I guess. So yeah, it was just so crazy how it happened. So the film was getting produced really quickly, really fast after that. So it was on a super crash course deadline. So I had very little time to write the book and get everything done. And yeah, it was all definitely a blur. I only had 20 days to write the first draft. So that's when planning comes in handy. But yeah, it was just a really quick process. But I was so grateful for the opportunity. I just wanted to show that I could do it and I could beat my deadlines, and that you want to make a good impression with Simon & Schuster. So yeah, that was definitely all it was about. So. Yeah.
And you majored in?
I majored in English.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oi.
Hi.
Então, eu queria te perguntar, porque assim, eu queria saber se você acompanhou toda a gravação, se você participava lá no set. Às vezes você via alguma coisa que você não achava legal e falava, não tá igual, acho que não tá rolando a química que tinha no livro. E a trilha sonora, eu sou apaixonada na trilha sonora do filme. Eu queria saber também se você deu suas opiniões, se você deu uns pitacos ali no filme para ele ficar certinho e bem igual ao que você queria.
Yeah, that's a good question. I did not have any say. I pretty much, my realm was the book, and working with Mickey and Tobias, and they're seeing how the screenplay and the book interacted off of one another. So that was kind of my realm. After that, you have very little control over anything, which was completely fine. But yeah, most of mine was just editing the drafts and making sure we could get it as good as we could, as quickly as we could before it got published, and then the movie happened and all of that. So yeah, I did not have any say. But yeah, that's a great question.
Muito obrigada.
Thank you so much.
Bem, gente, eu acho que é isso então. Eu gostaria de agradecer a Rachael por ter participado desse bate-papo com a gente. Foi um prazer te receber aqui hoje nessa manhã de domingo.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to be here. It's just been absolutely amazing so far, and I can't wait to hang out here today and just meet all of you. Thank you so much for coming.
Muito obrigado à presença de todo mundo aqui. Obrigado por terem vindo. E uma salva de palmas para Rachael Lippincott.